Hi, and welcome back to the listening window. Today's story is called I Stayed at a Stranger's House, but something felt wrong. This story is for your English listening and speaking practice. You'll hear clear, everyday English with natural expressions and storytelling flowed. If you'd like to read along or study afterward, download the full script, vocabulary list, quiz, answer key, and a bonus writing prompt from the link in the description. Let's begin. My name is Katie, and I made the biggest mistake of my life when I missed my BUS. IT was a Friday evening, and I was visiting a small mountain town for a solo weekend hike. I'd booked a cheap hotel, packed light, and even made a list of trails to explore. Everything was going smoothly until the last bus left without me. I had gone into a small cafe to grab coffee and warm up. When I came back outside, the bus was gone. The next one wouldn't come until morning. I panicked. I didn't know anyone in town, and all the hotels nearby were fully booked for the weekend. I stood outside the station with my phone in hand, trying to figure out what to do, when a woman approached me. "You look lost," she said kindly. She looked like she was in her 40s, with warm brown eyes and soft wrinkles around her mouth from smiling. I explained my situation. She nodded and said, "You can stay at my place tonight." Just for the night. It's not far. At first, I was unsure, but the streets were already dark and the cold mountain air was making me shiver. "Are you sure it's okay?" I asked. "Of course," she smiled. "No one should be outside alone tonight." So I followed her. We walked through quiet streets and turned into a small neighborhood full of older wooden homes. Hers was at the end of a narrow lane. It looked charming, flower pots on the porch, soft yellow lights in the windows. She introduced herself as Joan. Her house smelled like cinnamon and old books. She showed me the guest room, gave me fresh towels, and offered me tea. I felt lucky. She was kind, thoughtful, almost too perfect, but something felt off. It started with the hallway photos. There were dozens of them, family portraits, wedding pictures, kids in graduation gowns. But in every single one, Joan was alone. In one picture, she was in a wedding dress, holding a bouquet, with no groom next to her. Another showed her blowing out birthday candles at a large table. Empty chairs surrounded her. I asked her, "Where's your family?" She looked at the photo and smiled. "Oh, they're around." Later that night, I had trouble sleeping. The house creaked with every breeze, and shadows from the hallway light moved across my door like long fingers. At one point, I thought I heard whispers. I sat up and listened. Nothing. I finally drifted off around 3 a.m. the next morning. I woke up to the smell of pancakes. Joan was already in the kitchen. She greeted me like we were old friends. "I hope you slept well," she said. I nodded, unsure whether to mention the noises. Then I noticed something strange. A photo frame on the shelf had a new picture in it. I froze. It was a photo of me sitting in her living room, holding the cup of tea from last night. When did you take this?" I asked. She looked at me and smiled calmly. "I like to remember the people who stay here. Just in case." "In case of what?" I whispered. Joan didn't answer. Instead, she picked up her mug and walked to the window. That was when I saw them, more photos, stacked neatly in a box on the floor. Dozens of them, different people, all different ages, all drinking tea in the same chair I'd sat in. I grabbed my bag and muttered something about catching the morning bus. Joan smiled again. Of course, dear. Come back anytime. As I walked out, I looked back one last time. She was still smiling and already dusting the chair where I had Saturday. I don't know what happened to the other people in the photos. I don't know if they ever left, but one thing I do know. If you ever get stuck in a strange town and someone offers you a place to stay, think twice. Thank you for listening to I Stayed at a Stranger's House. But something felt wrong. Don't forget, you can download the full script, vocabulary list, quiz, answer key, and a bonus writing prompt using the link in the description. And now it's your turn. What would you have done in Katie's place? Tell us your version of the ending in the comments. See you next time on the listening window.